welcome back. I am Tom, and you are watching me play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Last episode, we played Gwent, and more Gwent. That video was huge. It ended up being about 2 hours long, just over 2 hours long. The recording time was close to 4 hours. It was pretty ridiculous. And oddly enough, I didn't get sick of Gwent. Which, you know, that's pretty impressive, really. Something like just such a small minigame, and yet I didn't get sick of it after playing it for 4 hours straight. It's impressive. There's a smuggler's cache here. They're not hiding it particularly well. Like, literally right outside the city docks, but what you gonna do? As I was running around Novigrad last episode, playing Gwent from here to there, I found a few sort of starts of quests that I didn't really complete because I didn't want to do them outside of main episodes. There's one over here that I want to do now. It's a fairly short quest if I remember correctly, but this way I think. Yeah, it's a fairly short quest, but I want to get it done. Just to get this exclamation point off my map for, if no other reason. There was a dwarf that yelled at me on this road. I'm pretty sure I remember what this... Actually, funnily enough, and hilariously enough, I actually think that this quest involves a game of Gwent, which is kind of funny, but I've forgotten about that during the time. Roasted mugs.
What do you want?
Name's Muggs. Rostin Muggs. Need your help in a grave matter.
What's this grave matter?
I came here on business. Sadly, just there across the river, toward the bridge's end, I was attacked. Smashed a bottle of the finest dwarven spirit on the bugger's skull, but the robbery was still a partial success.
Tell me what you want already, and be brief.
Thief ran off with my documents. Very important documents. I need you to get him back for me.
It'll cost you. I don't work for free.
That I know. Since the dawn of time, no Witcher's lifted a finger without pay. I've a smattering of coin in the soles of my boots. Return the documents, and it's yours.
Fine. See what I can do.
Touch me wife here, I'll smack you sideways.
Alright, so I'm gonna go this way. Because he said he was robbed just by this gate, so presumably... It's weird that these guards did nothing. Although they're Redanian guards, so you never know. Dwarf, maybe no one cares.
Dwarven moonshine. Nothing stinks quite like it. There's the bottle. Muggs was attacked here.
From now on, assume your every move's observed.
I happen to know where he went, because I've played this game so many times before. And this down here is Seven Cats Inn, which we showed last episode while playing Gwent. Follow this scent trail, which may actually be a bit hard to see on the video. We'll have to see, but...
Hand over the documents, thief.
Me? A thief? I won him straight, I did, in a game of cards.
Not how Muggs sees it. Claims he was... mugged.
Oh, Geralt.
He lost, demanded them papers back, and when I refused, he walloped me over the noggin with a bottle. Barely escaped with me life.
How much are they worth to you?
I don't read myself, but I've seen the seals. I know it ain't no scrap of arsewhite. I won't sell them to the first fella comes asking.
Ordinarily I would play Gwent for him, but...
Give me the papers. You have to.
True. Definite.
Those of you who sat through 2 hours of Gwent last episode probably don't want to sit through another episode with a few rounds of Gwent either.
Cradle, used but unworn. Need a bow to accompany me to a friend's wedding. Willing to trade a leaky pot for a cart? Who writes these notices? Need a Witcher?
Any bloke willing to kill a monster, a Witcher would do.
Monster? What kind?
Big, bad, ugly, squats in the sewers. If you're interested, drop by the Garren estate. Ask for Olgierd von Everek. He's the one ordered this posted.
That there is the start of Hearts of Stone, which is probably a bit too high level for me, but I think I might actually do it after Skellige. Because it's an amazing, amazing quest. And I've never done it before finishing the game. I want to see if there's any options that you get about Ciri, for instance. In any case, dinner special. Special end of the week offer. Only at the 7 Cats. Meatloaf, hunter's pot, and spiced pork, half off. Addendum. Some weak-stomached complainers reported getting poisoned at our place to the temple guard. So the special's been cancelled. I hope you're happy, you ploughing snitch. Go to the Passiflora and enjoy your Nightingale tongue pate. Fair enough. A rune rite on your shores has landed. To my fellows from the world's other bosom, vast seas have I crossed to reach this your most fascinating land, to learn the names of the animals which in it dwell, of the plants which in it grow, and most of all, you, its folk. Ravenous waves devoured the tools of my art, yet the rune knight's labour does not with his hands end, for he endlessly strives the world to explore, its mysteries to comprehend. Thus, if you wish to stay a while and converse with a traveler from afar off for fear, I invite you to my tent, which I have pitched by the mill near the village named Brunwich. Praise be the world in its never-ending creation. I like the Afiri accent, it's quite cool. I don't know whether I did it quite right there, but the way they talk as well, like the parlance of their talking, is really cool as well. Need a bow to accompany you to a friend's wedding. That's kind of cool that these actual notices are here were the ones he was talking about. The matter's a delicate one, so I ask any potential candidates to maintain discretion. My friend's found herself a man, and they're set to get married soon. Problem is, I've no bow of my own to take to her wedding. If any intelligent, amusing, handsome, none too old, none too young man, owning at least one decent-looking frock or robe, is interested in accompanying me to our wedding ceremony and the feast to follow, I'd be most thoroughly obliged. In exchange, I can offer a few hours of good fun and good at conversation with a lass that dances with the best of them. Alcohol will also be provided. A bashful, anonymous, beseeching an escort. Fair enough. P.S. If you're counting on taking me straight from the feast to the alcove, be warned, I'm a graduate of the ladies' self-defense courses put on by the Redanian army. But make a good impression, I might agree let you court me properly. Interesting. So, no one there just for a route, apparently. Wanted, cradle, used but unworn. Again, something you mentioned in the cutscene. Looking to buy a cradle, in good repair but cheap, for a lass or a lad, not knowing as yet what the wife will pop out. Made of oak preferably, but pine'll do. Long as it's strong and pretty, because the wife don't like cheap looking stuff. Best if it were painted with flowers, but I don't really care much. Could be bare in fact, and I'll paint it myself. Could do that much, show the woman she didn't marry some good for nothing skiver, or skeever, skiver I think. So if you've got something like that, I'd gladly buy it, or even more gladly take it off your hands for free. Yosi, or Josie. It's like a Craigslist ad, kind of. And the opposite of a Craigslist ad. Willing to trade a leaky pot for a cart. Deal of a lifetime. I'm willing to trade a lovely tin pot painted with cornflowers and lilies and showing a few holes true, but that's a plus so you can add a few more and look at that, you've got a colander. For a cart. The cart needn't be big, can even be tiny in fact, just so that 2 or better 4 people could fit in it, with ample room for bags and sacks if possible. Could be old, long as it rides well and has new wheels and strong axles. So actually, probably nothing made longer than a year or 2 ago would do. Leave a message with Bodhi. This makes very little sense. But, you know, try to trade your old tattered shit for like a really expensive cart, okay. Contract monster in the sewers. Let it be known that Olgierd von Everek shall pay a generous reward in gold, jewels, and movable goods, subject to negotiation, to any man who descends into the Oxenfurt sewers and kills the beach which has infested them, and taken to murdering the innocent, with a special predilection for young maids. The task is best suited for a battle-hardened individual, a soldier, or possibly a witcher, who will not run at the sight of drowners, for the sewer are chock full of such nuisances. For more information, inquire at the Gain Estate, to the northeast of Novigrad. Ask for Olgierd von Everett. Actually, he is listed as a wild one, which is intriguing. In any case, I've got these papers, I'll go give them back to this dwarf. I may actually have enough money to give this Runewright his startup. Which is saying something, because he takes a lot of money to get his startup going. Having said that, the service he provides you is pretty amazing. The Runewright, by the way, is the Afiri guy who was writing that letter. And he allows you to do more interesting enchantments on your weapons, such as the ones I have on my chest armor, which, when I set foes alight with Igni, they explode. And these ones here, which increases whirl and yard radius. Or range. It's not really a radius with rend, but I don't have rend anyway.
Well?
Found the thief who took your documents.
Can't be. Let's go get him. You can hold him while I take what's mine.
Slow down. See, this man said he never attacked you. Said you lost to him at cards.
Ah, cheeky bastard. But like me Aunt Rosalie always said, lies got but wee legs and don't run far. The documents belong to my employer. A deed to a townhouse in Vengerberg. And true enough, I'd been drinking. Got a bit carried away. And I lost them in a game of cards.
Then you whacked the winner on the head with a bottle.
What was it to do? You weren't willing to give him back. When the scoundrel drew a weapon, I fled. But without them papers, I haven't the gumption to show me face at home.
Here, now pay up.
Of course I will. Give you all I've left. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Interesting little quest there. Particularly because I used Axie, it sets it up such that, like, I essentially just helped a guy who was a complete arsehole, and I did it for 20 crowns. The quest kind of works out a bit better as far as, from Geralt's perspective anyway, if you play him at cards. Because if you play him at cards, it's then like, it's like a fair deal, as opposed to axing him and just stealing shit, but whatever. It's quicker if you use Axie. You also get more experience, I believe. Now, there is also one thing I want to do before I set off to Skellige. What am I level? Level 61 now, so that's... tricky. I'm technically level 5, I think. Yeah. Whatever. I can handle Skellige. But the first thing I want to do, not treasure hunts, witch contracts, I think. I don't actually have the quest. But I happen to know it's here.
Blood, but not human. Monster was wounded.
Large footprints. That's interesting. Give me a second, I've got to check my mods, because I don't think they're working. Okay, we're back. Yeah, my mods... It doesn't seem like my mods are working, so I'm going to have to fiddle around with them. I'm not going to do it now, because I'm probably fine to go like an episode without them on, but... I can hear something in here, though.
Stench.
It's a big fucking vampire. you son of a bitch. Having Lambert's help makes this a lot easier. He distracts it long enough that I can get a Quen up. Because this Ekimara will 100% one-shot me, because it's a vampire, and vampires are insane. Oh yeah. Okay, so the auto-loot seems to be working now. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe my mods are fine.
Greetings, Lambert.
Damn, it's good to see you, Wolf.
Decide to do some hunting in Novigrad? For as I remember, you never liked this city.
Still don't. Thing is, I got a certain matter to take care of.
What have you been up to? Any luck on the path?
A lot, in fact. Quite the takings in Lan Exeter. Was asked to hunt down a giant who turned out to be a forest troll, and some bandits.
Bandits?
Came as a package with the troll.
The matter you mentioned. Anything I can help with?
Maybe. But we'll talk about that later. Got a reward to collect. I'm kinda in a hurry. Let's say you've earned half. What the hell?
Let's go.
So?
What do you think? We did what we had to do. Time to pay up.
Wait here, I'll go see the supervisor, get your reward.
Do that ourselves. No reason you should abandon your post.
Can't argue with reason. Go on in.
Smooth talking Lambert. Still kind of sounds like an asshole though.
We dealt with the monster at the docks. Here for our reward.
Witches? Since when do you travel in pairs?
A lot of dangers lie in wait for a lone Witcher. Bandits, for example.
I advise you to change your tone.
Where's Yad Karadin? Talk.
Who?
Trust me, Geralt, this is important. There's something I gotta know.
I do not know any Karadin. Take your coin for the before and bugger off, before I lose my temper.
Where's Yad Karadin? Asking you for the last time.
Guards! To the dungeon with them!
God damn it, Lambert. Whatever. Leaving me to kill the guards.
Son of a...
What now, you piece of filth?
This guy's more trouble than the Ekimara.
Karadin's disappeared, I swear. The others too. I only know of Vienne.
What about Vienne?
She drinks at the Seven Cats. There day and night.
See? You can be helpful.
That was murder. Was that really necessary?
Yes. More guardsmen will show soon. Let's go. Meet me at the Seven Cats. Tell you everything there.
The Tavern Vienne frequents?
Yeah, see you later.
First things first, let's loot this guy's place. I mean, he's dead, he's not gonna need it. It's actually quite odd to see Lambert that pissed off. Usually, it's kind of fine with things. I'm gonna read this. Pearls of the North, Novigrad. No one can claim to have travelled the Northern Realms who has not been to Novigrad. If I were forced to list what during my many meanderings has made the greatest impression on me, it would be precisely this great and yet at the same time free city. A metropolis worthy of the Empire, its only flaw is that the civilization Nilfgaard carries within her has not yet enlightened it. Oh, interesting, it's written by a Nilfgaardian. Presumably. That is why hordes of reactionary cultists of the Eternal Fire dwell in the midst of its excellent buildings and superb commercial infrastructure. One feels as though superstition is how the local hierarch and his temple guard cement their power over the city dwellers, and many they are to control. Oh, right, I see. Over the city dwellers, and many they are to control. But the city counts no less than 30,000 of inhabitants. That's actually quite significant for a medieval kind of city. While strolling through its fabulous port, surrounded by marvels of architecture, it is hard to imagine that centuries ago Novigrad was a mere minor elven townstead. When the city fell into the hands of the Nordlings, its problems grew exponentially, as it is well known that people of the North can do a great many things, but peaceful and orderly cohabitation is not one of them. That's kind of true. And so Novigrad first belonged to Redania and then fell under Temerian rule, until finally, after endless compromises and bargains, it at last became a free city. But is the city truly free? I dare to doubt it. Redanian influence makes itself felt too strongly over every street corner, and the fact that the city is located within Radovid's territory speaks for itself. That is a fair point. You notice all the guards around Novigrad aren't really Novigrad guards, as much as they're Redanian guards. While wandering the city streets, I came across 4 watermills, 8 banks, and nearly 19 pawn shops. There are also a great many houses of simple pleasures, such as taverns and brothels, and Novigrad's commitment to matters of faith is borne witness to by the fact that the city contains no less than, I kid you not, 19 temples of the Eternal Fire. What more can be said? I think Novigrad has all the markings of the capital of the world, and perhaps that is what they will be one day. First, however, someone needs to bring order to within her walls. That was oddly difficult to read. I'm not entirely sure why. The cadence of how the sentences are structured may be a bit different because it's written from a Nilfgaardian perspective, I don't know, but it just seemed weird to read in my accent at the very least. Also interested to know in the comments as well, does anyone else do that when they read? If you're reading something that's supposed to be from someone else in a different... Hello, Geralt? Alright then. If you're reading something that's supposed to be from someone in a different accent, do you change your accent to compensate? I tend to, and I find it a lot easier to read. I do it in my head as well. I always have. I don't really know whether that's a normal thing though, to be honest. It's just something that I've always done. That's a head. Oh, there's loot up there. Can I get up there though? Maybe? Let's see if I can do it. Nope. It's one thing this game does that's... It makes sense, but at the same time is annoying, is the fact that I can't loot that, because it's like... It's like set decoration, but they've put it in an unreachable spot. I could turn like the auto-loot on that allows me to auto-loot in a radius, but it's not worth it. For such a small thing. 7 cuts in should be this way, right? No. I'm looking at the marker because I'm like, it's shooting me towards Olgierd for some reason. I didn't track this quest. I think it's a secondary quest now. Or not. Maybe it's still a Witcher contract. Am I insane? Anyway, following the thread, that's what I thought. Also, I should do this one, but... First things first, let's go talk to Lambert. I really like this quest. I like quests like this as well, specifically, where you have a friend, essentially. I mean, Lambert's a dick, but He would be I think Geralt would consider him a friend. Or at the very least a comrade. Well, you meet up with him and, like, actually... Like, it involves you in the story a lot deeper. Like, if this story was just some random nobody who was killing a bunch of guys, it wouldn't be anywhere near as impactful if it wasn't Lambert.
Winds howling.
It kinda is. What's up, Lambert?
Alright, high time you explain some things. Why'd you kill Lund? What's this all about?
Want the short version or the long one?
Let me hear the whole thing.
I had a friend. Aiden was his name.
You had a friend?
Oh, fucking hilarious. I met him soon after I'd accepted a contract to lift the curse from the Ogre of Elander. Aiden had been hired to kill it. He was a Witcher from the School of the Cat.
Far as I remember, the Ogre was killed in the end.
Yeah. After it gutted my employer, we really didn't have a choice. I cut a deal with Aiden. We joined forces, split the reward for killing the Ogre between us. After that, we worked together a lot. Hands down the best man I'd ever met. I mean, I like you, you know that. Still, no comparison.
I do love Lambert.
What happened to him?
Some time ago, Aiden took on a contract to lift a curse off a duke's daughter. It was a political mess from the start. Then there was hatred for the School of the Cat to deal with.
They worked hard to deserve that hate. Basically turned hired assassins.
Aiden wasn't like that. Anyway, some of the Duke's courtiers had designs. Weren't at all keen on the curse being lifted from the Duke's firstborn. So a band of trained assassins ambushed Aiden. Murdered him. Our dear supervisor was one of them.
And he had Caradin?
The assassin's leader. And the one to deal the mortal blow.
Sorry about your friend.
Don't need your sympathy. Just your help. We have to talk to Vienne. Must have had enough to drink by now. Let's go.
Vienne.
What do you want?
We want to see Yad Caradin.
Now, why would I help you?
It's really important to my friend here.
And what will I get out of it?
Pay for your beer, for starters. Then we'll see how valuable your information is.
I was part of Caradin's band, but when was that? I don't know where to find him. I've fallen out with the lot. Besides, he's no longer chummy with his old mates. Word around town is he's changed.
Caradin's changed? What do you mean?
He's dropped all his old connections. Stopped taking on petty killings. He's hidden himself away in some hole. Must be planning something big.
Who else was in Caradin's band?
Aside from me, Sleaze, Hammond and Lund, but they've scattered all over the world. Sleaze went to Tretogor, Hammond to Skellige, and Lund...
Lund's dead.
Finally met his match. Well, you've only Hammond or Sleaze to talk to then.
This Sleaze. Where can we find her?
She's done well for herself. Runs a brothel in Tretogor, the kind rich men frequent. Whores suck information out of them. Then she sells it.
Name of this brothel?
The Black Lily. Sleaze always did have horrible taste.
It's not a bad business venture, really. I wonder... Probably a lot of brothels that work like that, really. become information brokers, because people tend to tell whores things that they wouldn't tell anyone else.
We need information about Hammond.
Carradin's right-hand man once. When the band broke up, he went back to Pharaoh whence he had come. He's a pirate now. Even the Jarls treat him with respect.
What about you? What's your story?
Scoia'tael. Unit was decimated, so I joined Carradin. They never treated me as an equal. No. I could hit a sparrow from 100 paces, but I was never good enough for Carradin. He always preferred that cunt Sleaze.
You have a hand in the murder of the Witcher Aiden?
Perhaps. I don't remember.
Satisfied?
She doesn't know anything. We need to talk to Hammond and Sleaze.
Don't go looking for Carradin. If he senses you nipping at his heels, he'll kill you without batting an eye.
We'll see. As for you...
She's kind of too pathetic to kill, really.
No, Lambert.
Right. Better to leave her like this.
What about my coin? Arseholes.
You gotta help me, Geralt. Best thing will be to split up. You sail to Skellige, try to squeeze something out of Hammond. I'll go to Tretogor and meet with Sleaze.
Normally I would do this for more lore, but he just says, no we don't, fuck off Geralt. In fact...
Lambert, let's talk about this.
No, let's not. This is one of those situations, serious situations, when you don't ask unnecessary questions and just help your friend.
Where'll we meet once I'm back?
At the Nowhere Inn.
All right, I'm off. Good luck.
It seemed like an appropriate quest to do before we head to Skellige. There's another one I want to pick up before we head to Skellige, because, once again, same kind of thing. Starts in Novigrad, then finishes in Skellige. What are these geese doing here? They should be at the Cunning of the Goose, not the Seven Cats. So we're coming up to about time. However, as I said, there's one more I want to pick up before we go. Because I'm going to be heading off to Skellige next episode I think I'm going to head off to Skellige. I'm pretty low level for it. If this was normal game, I would be level 5. I think I started at 56, so yeah. I'd be level 5 in the normal game, which is very low level to go to Skellige, but on New Game Plus, you've just access to so many... You've got access to so many things that... Like, I have all the bombs, I have all the oils, I have really good swords, I have really good armor. Like, it's fairly simple to, It's fairly simple to take on things at a way higher level, particularly when you've got things like instant kill chance and etc, etc. So, where I need to go now is just outside the Golden Sturgeon, which I think it's the easiest way to get there. This way, I think. I would fast travel there, but I enjoy running the city. We go this way and then head right, I think? I may have to go left then right. No, I can go right then left. It's probably easier. Because this should take me out to the fish market. Indeed. Come down here and then take a left. Through here. And out to the Golden Sturgeon. That's his question mark over here. Or exclamation mark, rather.
When it rains, it pours.
A Witcher? Oh, hear about the notice, perchance?
Not quite, but what's it about? I hear right, you're going on some voyage, need a companion.
Not just some voyage. Cross the sea. Mark this. When I got pressed into the infantry in 1242, I promised my beloved Let I'd return alive, whole, and with a pearl from Skellige. Not just any pearl either. A black one. The rarest and most precious.
Well, well. Ambitious.
Perhaps. But they were empty words. I came from the war. That one and the next. But I never fulfilled my promise. Time to change that. For if not now, then when? Thing is, I've grown old in the meantime, as you see. Can't manage it alone, need a strong shoulder to lean on. And a Witcher's shoulder's as strong as they come. So, what do you say?
It is kind of unclear how old he is just by looking at him, but if he was in the war at Tretogor in 1242, that means he would have been at least probably mid-teens, probably about 20 when he was in that war. Because that's able-bodied men, usually around 20, 18 to 20 probably. And that was what, 30, so he's at least 50 probably. So he is getting up there in age, particularly for the time period.
Plan's crazier than it is sane, but there's an irresistible charm to it. Offer me some pay and I'll help you out.
Don't you fret about coin. I brought home a good deal of it from various fronts. Say we meet in Skellige, by the collapsed bridge near Arenbjorn. It's but a hop away from the bed where black pearls are born. Will that work for you?
Sounds fine. See you there.
Why not hit your waist like everyone else?
It's a fair point, actually. I don't really know why witches carry blades on their back. I'll check if that's confirmed anywhere. I think it's just kind of an eccentricity that they do. But the main reason that in the real world people don't carry swords on their back is... Well, let me draw this for you. I'll put that in slow motion, because even the game can't properly get it. They're clipping through their scabbards. Because you need an enormously long arm to be able to pull a sword that long. Because how long is that sword? Probably like... Geralt's probably about 6 foot tall. Take off a foot for their head. Like, the blade is probably 3 feet long. Like, trying to pull that from a scabbard on your back is very difficult. One thing he does do when he puts it away, though, is quite cool. You notice how he, like, taps the scabbard away? So it's further out, so it's almost putting the sword straight backwards. Quite cool.
Think I pissed me
anyway, talking about sword etiquette for some reason or another. That's going to be it for today. Next episode we're going to probably do maybe one more thing in Novigrad that I can remember. But then after that we're going to head off to Skellige. So that should be fun. I love Skellige. It's probably... I'd say Skellige is probably my favourite area out of all the areas in the game. Including... I think including like the Blood and Wine area up in France. What's it called? Beauclair.
Spare a couple or two.
Interesting. In any case, that's going to be it for today, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Before I go, for those interested, these are the books that I found during my Gwent episode, so I'll just read through these now. The Curious Cases of Virtuous Vega. Can there be such a thing as a virtuous whore? Vega asked herself this question each and every morning, and each morning swore she would prove to the world that practicing the world's oldest profession does not preclude virtue. This determination augmented not only to her own troubles, but also those of Gaspard de Breuil, her mother's longtime friend, who as a personal favour had hired Vega to work in his establishment, the Golden Garter. Poor Gaspard had to listen to the constant complaints of customers who would charge into his office in a huff about Vega's behaviour, yet the girl clung firm to her principles and her unclouded drive to see them through. She would never perform with any lights lit that would avert her gaze, with a powerful blush upon catching sight of the male member. Gaspard's greatest headache, however, was the fact that the virtuous Vega never ever accepted any payment for her services. Well, okay, that's probably the worst. Change Your Life, a handbook. And so I, Jacob the Rebel, once well known as a libertine and brawler extraordinaire from Nazaire, with its myriad taverns of the wilds of Zerrikania, used what strength I had left to pull my craft ashore. The raft I had strapped together out of an old boot, bits of strap, and a burst barrel had taken on so much water that two L's more than I'd have sunk to the bottom. Instead, I stood on dry land, and that was all that mattered. With not a living soul in sight and my stomach growling something mighty, I began to explore. The isle was bereft of game, but offered fruit in great abundance. I ate so heartily the juice nearly poured out of my ears. And then I began to gather wood, with which to build my shelter for the night and fuel for the fire that would warm me. It was then that I came upon the strange plant that would change my life till the end of my days. Ignorant to its value at the time, I frivolously used it for kindling, yet as soon as it began to smoulder, its sweet scent filled my nostrils. I felt light, and the coastal breeze whisked away all my trouble. I devoted the subsequent years to my life to researching this miraculous weed and its properties. As a result, I was able to develop a method that was likely to transform the life of any who puts it into practice. Here is how to begin.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
So, get high. The Book of Life, I suppose. Edwin Grelof's third map. Beautiful, Professor Slavko Atomstein will be furious. I lost the first map in a game of Gwent, and then the second was stolen from me while I was slightly indisposed after a hard night at the casino. I cannot arrive empty-handed in the station near the tomb under Crookback Hills, or the Professor will vivisect me on the spot. The 4 new locations I have marked on this map might be enough to protect me from his wrath. Edwin Greloff, adjunct in Natural History at Oxenford Academy. Heavily faded notes by Hieronymus on the Witcher Elgar. Elgar placed upgrades to Schools of the Wolf gear in 3 different caves in an area immediately to the south of Kaer Morhen. He hoped future generations of Witchers would find them in their hour of need. So these 2 here give you maps to start Witcher scavenger hunts, and these ones are just interesting books. There we are. Griffin School, and the next one should be Wolf School, I believe. Indeed.